being a good farmer is being a good marketer. Knowing your markets, choosing your market too. You know, that markets that sort of get along with your value systems, with your moods.
Our overall goal for this is to bring people back to the farm. I love the box stores where we get our produce. They're real handy, and they can bring us bananas, and I can't grow bananas or pineapple. I love pineapple. But we can grow things here, and we can bring people back to a community.
The other part that I enjoy about farmers markets, or more obvious, is the social interaction. You know, you really have a one-on-one connection to each person. They tell you what they did with your food the week before. It's wonderful. So you establish long-term relationship, one person at a time, which I enjoy that.
It's challenging. It's not a get-rich type of situation, but it's a wonderful lifestyle, and it is doable, but you have to be careful not to, farming is an easy way to go broke if you're not careful and not smart about what you plant.
We market our product initially here through the Fayetteville Farmers Market. We've been farmers marketing since about 1999 though, and we started in a really small market and kind of built up our knowledge of how to farmers market.
One aspect that I enjoy farmers market for is competition actually. It really shows me where I stand in my level of quality and prices against the very best in the area. Especially, I would say the Fayetteville market is the ultimate test for us because it's extremely competitive. You're dealing with 80 farmers, some of the best in the area.
When a customer stops at our stand, we want them to buy everything, this one-stop shopping. They can buy a bouquet, they can buy tomatoes, they can buy some mushrooms, they can buy some onions, etc. Instead of just having a bunch of watermelons in the back of the pickup, there was a niche that was open at the farmer's market. We didn't know it, but we would take cases of bok choy and containers full of zinnias and gladiolas, and we would bring all the bok choy home, and all the gladiolas and zinnias would be sold. So we just kept planting more of those things that we sold. We keep really careful records of how much we're planting of each crop, when it was planted. Community Supported Agriculture is a program whereby consumers in town support the farmer by paying up front for a weekly box of produce of the best of whatever is in the garden. So the farmer defines whatever price box they're going to put together. For us, it's $25. So we'll take whatever things are selling for at the farmer's market and add the items up until it equals $25, and that will create the weekly box. So we have to plant a large variety of crops, including things that we wouldn't normally plant for the farmer's market because they aren't really big income producers.
Let's set up a system where April and May is one CSA grouping, June, July, and August is another, and then let's end it with September, October, and November, which is a whole new crop of things to look at. Sweet potatoes, pumpkin, squash, and you name it, you can grow it there. And if we do that, then we have a CSA program that can go all the way from April to November. And we've still got our winter market email produce list from December through March. So golly, we have a year-round program, and we're bringing money into the family all year round off of 4.5 acres. We don't fill bags for people. We read an article back in the spring that said, let them kind of graze, which, is kind of a neat term when you're talking about the farm anyway, but have a list of things or have a choice of things there and say, pick 8 today or pick 7 today. And then they can go through there and get what they want.
The restaurant business is, to me, the ultimate connection to good food. I grow great crops, I feel, but I'm also huge about eating good food. And those two things are the same. They're not disconnected. And they need not to be, and they must not be disconnected.
We started contacting some of the restaurants there. We would take them produce and cut flowers for the tables. And over time, as we developed more of a clientele in Fayetteville, we decided we would just take all of the things to the Fayetteville Farmers Market and try to centralize our marketing there.
Once you know you have a right restaurant, once you know you have the right chef in front of you, then you have to really be nice to him. You have to really, chefs will not typically want to come to farmers markets to see you there. They just don't have that kind of time maybe. So you have to be in there, and you have to bring your beautiful stuff. Now you have to be aware of chefs' hours, and you have to be really smart about that. A typical good time to see a chef is, let's say, in the early afternoon, after the lunch shift and maybe before the dinner gets going. That's essentially 2 to 5. I would not do what a lot of books say, which is sit down with a chef in November or before the season and lay out a grandiose, like a strategic plan about the relationship, and this is what I'll give you in April, and this is what I'll give you. I tried that, that doesn't work. There's too many things going on.
A great idea came to us about email marketing. So we danced around the idea a little bit, and initially it was just us. We would send out a list to our customers that were interested, and it started out with just about 30 people. And we would send out an email list of what we had available, and they would send back an order sheet of what they wanted. And we would fill it and pack it and deliver it to town once a week, particularly in the wintertime. This was our goal, so we could have year-round capital. The next year, we added an extra lady with us who grows complementary to what we grow, but she would add the excess so we could get more people on our list. The list blossomed to quickly 300 people.
You need to sell retail in order to get the maximum amount of money for the crop. So as soon as you have too much volume of one crop where you can no longer sell it all locally and you have to go into a wholesale market, you may lose 50% of the selling price or more just to get rid of it. We have about 60 different flower crops and about 30 different vegetable crops. So it's hard to say what are the main crops.
And the idea there is just grow in abundance and grow in diversity. And then you don't end up leaving them with a bunch of stuff they don't want.
We can't spend the time planting things if they're not going to sell. We don't have extra acreage to waste the space, and we need to maximize our the bang that we get for the effort that we put into it.
As it relates to the general skills necessary for you to be a good direct marketer, I would say that you have to first know which channels are right for you. Also involve a certain amount of diversification, that you might not want to have all your eggs in one basket. It's nice for me to have 3 main channels: the stores, the restaurants, and the farmers markets.
The sales records come from our records for the farmers market that I told you about earlier. We keep invoice books for CSA, for retail florists. So we've got all of our sales recorded. And from all that information, you can put together a picture of what your net profit is and how you need to manipulate that to have a better looking picture. But I think I said earlier, on a scale like this, 5-acre scale, you don't have a lot of room to wiggle around and grow crops that don't make money.